Is plucking. I get the water to 155. It seems to be the best temp for me. I've gone 160, 150, 155 seems to be the sweet spot. When I put them in there, it's about 10 seconds, and you want to agitate the bird to get the water, you know, throughout every of the feathers you can. I hold the legs like this. I'll show you later once you guys try it yourself. You kind of have to peg the legs, and it kind of locks the knees, and then you can use that as leverage to kind of move the bird. If you don't, it kind of just floats around. But again, you want to get the whole thing submerged, agitate, no more than 10 seconds or so, and that's it. And just get it in and out so it doesn't start cooking the bird, right? So if you guys want to come a little bit closer, I'll show you, let's see what happens inside. So again, I'm pegging the legs, kind of locking the knees, all the way submerged. And then 1001, 1002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up.
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
let it. Yeah, they're already pretty much coming off here. Kind of drain it there. The next step is to put it in here. Come close. I'll tell you when, not yet. So as it goes in there, come on close, guys. I'm going to spray it down. This is also going to cool the bird as we do it. Go ahead and push the button, the green one, real hard. Real hard. So it's going to toss around. Pop out the side here. Real quick. That's it. So
now again, not everybody has a plucker.
Oh my God.
So
now
you
it's looking closer to
my
what you see.
husband
That's a
actually
chicken.
Right there.
runs the plucker.
Right,
When
so
I have to
back
kill
over.
birds on my own, I am not plucking with this.
So
I
the next
hand
step
pluck.
is right here. So we're gonna do this.
That is the reality. It's
So
very
again, the
simple.
plucker doesn't get all of the feathers off, so we kind of stay over here.
And you can see, real quick, I'm going to interrupt. See from him laying on the ground with the hurt leg, what he was doing to his arms. So we don't want that to go on.
So then just really
Longer than it
quickly,
needs to.
you're kind of pinching and pulling up as you go. It's just a bunch of pinches, kind of go through it. Get
I'm
as much.
surprised how clean it ended up.
Yeah, it does. It does pretty well. Yeah.
Well, it was $650 when we bought it, like 7-8 years ago. But by the time you shipped it, it was another $350 to ship it. Now I think they're kind of. This was before they sold them at any of these stores.
Now
Because-
it's paid for itself.
So,
Very close.
oh, it paid for itself so many years ago. Yeah, the turkeys alone that we put in it. Oh my gosh! So I was doing turkeys by myself. I think it was
Yeah, it's
last
definitely got some
year.
bruising.
We had some 50-pounders. We tried to plug in that thing, and I kid you not, is a just stop.
And
We
that's
were like,
pretty much it. He's got
we
a
had to
lot
hand
of
pluck him. It
bruising.
took
He's been.
forever.
That's a
Looks like-
bruise.
He looked like he got hurt, and then yeah, that's a bruise.
That's from his weak legs, honey. It was one of them that couldn't walk.
All right, so then the next again, after that, I kind of, again, this is cold water with vinegar. Kind of do just a quick rinse off, just to prep it for when she starts to do it first.
Okay.
And that's a plucked chicken.
She's good looking. Take my little
Why don't
red
you go
knife.
in the center so people can kind of come in here?
Okay, so these are crappy little boards. It's all I had though, guys, but we can't cut on the metal. The blades will be dull instantly. They're going to be dull instantly anyway. You notice all the knives I have? This is not my first rodeo. You will dull these things out very quick. You don't realize each cut, you're wearing that blade down. You don't need expensive knives. These are $7 or $8, and I own a ton of the same one because it's my favorite cut. In fact, this Dexter blade in here has probably cut 10,000 birds. It's my favorite knife, and I never used to share it. And it is a good, there it is, Dexter. This is directly from commercial processing facilities is what they use. I mean, they used to be $4 or $5. Good heavy blades, and you want this type of shape that you're looking at here. You don't want a straight knife. Straight is not what we're doing. We need a curved blade. So, what we're gonna do first on these guys is we always remove these legs. By the way, his legs were working before he hit the plucker, so don't panic. So this is kind of a bad example, and I'll show on another one. But normally, you're just gonna hold the leg up, and the kneecap is right in the middle of that. So we gently cut. As you bend back, you'll start seeing where the joint is because it comes right apart. So here's another, again, kind of a bad example because the leg got broken in the plucker, but here's the middle of the knee. You can visibly see, start cutting there. And we want to, even though he's got a broken bone, you don't want to cut up here. Once you start getting shards of bone and you package it, it cuts through all the packaging. Now what was supposed to last you a year in the freezer won't. You're gonna have to eat it soon. So be careful of all the broken bones. You know, I get a lot of people that want to do spatchcocking. Well, spatchcock them all. Well, package that spatchcocking and see what it's like. You're better to spatchcock before you cook. Don't do your 50 birds like that. Once you cut that spine here, you've just made pure shards of rib bones poking through everything. So I highly suggest doing that later. Okay, so we get rid of the head. You can have little garden things. These are actually for the birds. We don't use them in the garden. And this, the regular kitchen one. Now we have both because sometimes these are hard for people to be able to use just because it's harder. So again, with this little guy here, made in China, you can't beat it. Put his little head in. Let's see if I can do it with this guy. Done. Now I try to take the head off. Woo! There goes my dog food. I try to take the head off as close as you can to your cut. Okay, we put the heads in a bowl, the feet in the bowl, everything gets saved, guys. Get this other bowl. Now it's not so frightening, is it? Now you kind of feel like you can deal with it. This is pretty easy for most people. Once you've got feet and heads gone, you start kind of disassociating with the fact that it was a life. So we start, guys, with the crop. This is the very first thing. That little balloon that you see now they haven't been fed today, so there's no food in the crops. So the crop can be a little difficult to get out because it's a balloon that when there's no food in it, it sticks to the chest. It's designed to fit right in there perfectly. But if we had food, we'd have poop all over the place. So we take the skin right here, guys, and I'm loosening it up. You see, I take a little knife into that to open it up. That's it. And you'll see as I'm opening, you'll see this little thing right there. Oh. That's the crop. That's where all the food goes. So you get your little fingernails in there because you got to pull that guy away. It's not going to come away on its own, and it is slippery, and you'll hate it because this little guy, some people just go, I can't get it. Well, you got to get it, so you keep working at it. Pull it apart there. Now, see, I'm tugging pretty hard on it to get it out of the breasts there. And you can see all that's left is the little esophagus here. Detach it a little. Yeah, that's, you've got your esophagus, you've got your air line and your food line. So we remove this. In fact, you know what? I need a little trash can. Let me grab a bucket over here. We're gonna need something for nasties. We don't throw away much, but we're definitely gonna need it for some of this. So get rid of him.
Now, will you use that for dog food? No.
You don't use any of that. The only things I'm going to throw away are not used for anything. Will be the intestines, the crop, everything else will be saved. Okay, so that looks really good. Now we turn him around. Boom. Now we're going in the butt. Okay, so same thing. Pinch, you'll feel the skin. Just get the skin. Now, breastbone, butthole, go in the middle. A lot of people start cutting up here. Don't cut up that high. You lose all your skin and everything. It looks weird. Stay as low as you can, but don't cut in the butthole. So I'm going right about here. There's the inside. It's like a fish and anything else if you've gutted anything. I use my fingers to open it more, guys. The more the knife gets in there, you might poke the intestines. Then you're offended by poop slurry all over the place. So to avoid that, which you'll see is going to happen, someone's going to poke the poop chute. It happens all the time.
A lot of intestine.
We have a lot of intestine too. If I was cut open, you would never know how to get those intestines back in. I mean, there are so many on all of us. So what we do now is we can see the intestines. Now we're going to come in, and what I do is I literally am going to cut. You see these little butt bones here on both sides? I'm coming right in on the butt bones with just the tip, because remember, we could cut some of the intestines, and we're trying not to. There's down one side, come down the other. Okay, now that the butt, and this is my technique, no one else's, we want a butt flap. Because if they still got food in their intestines, at least with the butt flap, it's not squirting out all over the place. The poop chute is bent down and out of our way. Just don't forget about it, because some people forget to remove it. So now we can see in the bird, and all we're gonna do is you gotta use your hand like a rake. So it's not gonna come out freely. So what I do is I start with my finger at the top, push in and start detaching the organs. You're gonna feel there's attachments that hold all of us together. Start with a finger, then you're gonna start reaching in. And as I reach in, I start on the top and I use that finger and I rake the whole rib cage, everything away from it. That way we can get it all out. And then I'm using my hands, I'm kind of clawing down the sides. You just have to do this. Doesn't matter if you want to or not, you got to get it all out. And you'll feel the little strings and things that are attached that you just kind of break them free. So I'm all the way up at the top. You can probably see it. Here's my finger.
Oh.
I'm all the way up at the top. Rake it all the way down. The ribs on the back side is where the lungs hide, right here and here. They're actually in the ribs. They settle down in there. So you actually got to take your finger and kind of rake in between those ribs, and you'll feel, it feels like you're going to think meat. It's not meat. It's the lungs, and they have to come out, whether you like it or not. So you try to get it all in one shot. I'm going to try and get it all in one shot for you guys, even though sometimes I don't. Once you feel it's all pretty much detached, then we're ready to give it a good pull. And I always start at the top. Don't start at the bottom. The heart's at the top and everything. So start, pull, get. I got it all. And there's his little testes. There's one.
Oh, they're little.
He's only 12 weeks old. You got to remember, these are essentially babies because you don't raise them that long. Okay, that is as clean as that's going to get. It's all out of there, if you guys can see in there. There's nothing in there except for that little piece of esophagus right here that we pull out. So he's clean. Now what we're going to do, and you can see, show you how it works here. My daughter and I loved this. First, before I show you though, let's get the poop chute out of here. So we're still attached, remember? Take the butthole, cut all the way down along the base there to remove it all. Perfectly clean. Now you can also remove the tail. The tail has what's called, it's a taint, it's an oil gland right here. You'll see that whole thing? Have you ever seen your birds reaching down and grabbing their tail and then cleaning themselves? This is an oil gland. This is how they keep themselves waterproof. So you can remove the whole tail, which you just go like this, and you'll get in between those bones. There's the tail. We can keep the tail. Sometimes I leave the tail on. It's all up to you. But you got to remove that little taint. Okay, this bird is done. We give it a quick, oh, sorry. I'm going to remove the necks this time. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do, but people want those necks lately, so we'll get rid of them. So in your own house, you don't have to remove this neck. You can leave it on. There's no reason it has to be there. Remove that little skin flap we've all seen before. Now, what I tell people to do on this neck, because it can be a little tricky, is instead of just cutting, and I'm going to try to show you, I score down in there. Score as far down as you can get it between the breasts without hurting the breasts, and that will help your little tool to cut the neck. And there we go. And there is our chicken that looks like it's from the grocery store with a couple bruised arms.
Yeah.
So, and you'll see on the others, they're going to look real beautiful. Clean them out real good. Ready to go. Then we move it over here to this tub, which this tub has ice and a little bit of vinegar. Done.
Wow.
Now we take care of this. There's essentials in this you're not going to want to get rid of. We've got the gizzard right here. Start attaching. See how it's kind of attached? A little bit of food coming out. It's going to happen. Let's get that attached. Let me wash my little knife off. And try while you are doing this, guys, it is messy. Try to clean up after everything. We don't want to get in the habit of being gross about it. So crops are going to be much bigger on the healthier ones. This one didn't get to eat as much laying around on the ground, but we slice it in half, okay? And, man, I saw so many of these gizzards. Or did I call it a crop? Sorry, it's a gizzard.
No, is that poop?
That is not poop. What the gizzard is, this is their stomach, okay? That crop you saw is not their stomach. It is a holding tank is all it is. It is a pouch to hold what they ate. So as it trickles down to the gizzard is the stomach. All that grit you see your birds eating, they're eating rocks and plastic. stays here, never leaves. It's a tumbling machine for the food. Tumbles, breaks it down. They never digest any of the grit, and you'll see on the other crops, because this wasn't a good example of this little one here, they'll be full of stuff, just full. So here's the hardest part. This yellow has to go away. It's a sticker. See that? If you do not peel the yellow off, you can't eat it because it is rawhide. So you have to get your fingers in there, and every one of these has to be peeled. This is what my kids used to do. Once you peel it, it's ready to be eaten. And let me tell you, if you've never had gizzard, you fry that thing up. I could just eat 10 of them right now with some coffee.
Like that, huh?
Okay, there it is. So, and you can see this little hole right here. That's where it goes to the next step into the intestines, basically. After they break it down, it goes into all of this here. So, there's our beautiful crop. Put it in a crop bowl. We've got the liver here. Now, the liver, guys, you're going to want to be careful. There is a bile sac. If you've ever butchered anything, doesn't matter what it is, it's got one. There it is. That will taint everything.
Oh.
That is so powerful. It hits your bird, it'll be green forever and have a slight tangy taste. So you don't want it. If it does, rinse immediately. But we're going to try not to. So we go a little wide on the liver to remove it. Get rid of that piece. That's it. It's on everything and you don't want it. Now, Filipinos love it. They actually squirt it in their soup and stuff. But if you're not them, then you're going to want to get rid of it because not many people want it. Rinse our little liver. Nice, good liver. Put it, oh, that's already got something in it. Put it in the liver bowl. Okay, we've got the heart now. Now, you can throw your organs away, but if you've got dogs or anything, what a mistake. Don't. Hearts. And last but not least, the lungs. I keep all the lungs for dog food, and there's nothing left.
What is that? What was that round thing, Christy?
What round thing? I'll put those with those.
This thing.
Oh, that's like, it's not really a kidney, but it's like a similar thing. So they're not designed like us, obviously, and these are not, you can eat it. People eat these too, but it's nothing I eat. At this point, this is all trash to me. Now, we did save the pancreas one year, which is right here. We cut out all the pancreases on all the birds. See that in between there? This is your pancreas. Quite healing. A lot of people are pretty savvy to using the pancreas to heal pancreas. So we did, on 70 birds, keep all of them one time because my friend had a very sick dog that she was healing with pancreas. So you can even take that, but I don't anymore. Too many birds, too much going on. Okay, now let me rinse this. And I do keep the testicles when they're larger too. Just not this time, they're too little. My animals like big testicles, not little ones.
Same.
Yeah, they don't want the little ones. They're like, where to go, huh? But you get some big ones, they're candy to the animals. As gross as you think it is food. Lamb fries, I mean, we save all the big balls here. Doesn't matter what they come off.